Jumble Fluff, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're a returning visitor. Today I'm working on part 2 of my Monster Girls series of, monsters who are pretty ladies that are also like in some kind of girl group talent show, burlesque, circus. I don't know. I haven't nailed it down yet exactly what these ladies are doing, but I do know that they're monsters and they're cool. So, for part 2 of this series, I am working on a Bigfoot girl. So, my Bigfoot character, her name is Sycamore, as you can tell from me writing it. Well, actually, that's typed. I typed it on the screen here. I named her Sycamore for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to name her after a kind of tree because she's a Bigfoot, so she lives in the woods probably. I thought of a couple different kinds of trees like a sequoia or oak or elm. I just kind of kept trying, and I think Sycamore is kind of a unique name. I don't think I've ever met anyone named Sycamore before. And I also liked it because you can shorten Sycamore to Mori. And Mori is actually a Japanese word for forest. Like Mori K fashion is like an aesthetic with like girls who live in the woods vibes. I'm sure Mori means something else in another language because it's like memento mori means like a memory of death. So I don't know, maybe that's Latin. I don't know. But anyways, I thought that Mori made a cute nickname for her too. And then the last reason I thought about is I really like this song Dream a Little Dream of Me, and there's a line in there about being under a sycamore tree. So these were some of the reasons that I chose to name my Bigfoot girl Sycamore. But I was a little hesitant too because I felt like sick might sound like attack someone. Like, when you sick a dog on someone, or sick, like, oh no, I'm not feeling well, I'm so sick. So, but I think overall, if I nicknamed her Mori, it works pretty well. So, to get started, I wanted to make Mori look really tall and strong. So I've been practicing drawing lots of diverse body types because it's something that I like doing and I think it's interesting. But I don't have the most practice drawing muscular women. I think that a lot of people find muscular women unattractive, but that's crazy because muscular women are super pretty and they're like really cool looking. So I like drawing strong women. I like drawing superheroes and stuff too. But a lot of times female superheroes are like really skinny for some reason, even though they're supposed to be really strong. So I find that odd. So to draw Sycamore, I actually started looking at photo references of female wrestlers, and I found this one named Rhea Ripley who was really pretty, and I used her as a reference for like a lot of like the muscles of Sycamore. So she looks nice and strong but still feminine at the same time. I wanted to combine this kind of idea of being really strong with also being like really feminine. So her outfits are inspired by like Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac. Kind of looking at like this witchy, foresty vibe. So she looks kind of like a hippie almost. I don't know. I think that overall it turned out really nice with her outfits. I try to keep her color scheme very earthy and natural. So my first Monster Girl, Olympia, had a very blue forward color scheme. And then Mori is going to be more of a green color scheme. So she looks like she could blend into the woods. So as I start kind of brainstorming ideas for my Bigfoot character, it's kind of fun to think about a Bigfoot who's like kind of out there in the world and like proud of it. Like, yeah, I'm Bigfoot. What are you gonna do about it? So in the Monster Girls, I still haven't really decided exactly where they fit in the world. Like, if this is a world where monsters are just part of the world, or if maybe this is an all monster world. I'm not sure. But whichever way it goes, I think that Mori is a singer. So instead of like hiding in the background or blending into the trees, like, when you look at photos of Bigfoot online, like you see like blurry pictures, So I think that Mori is actually like a superstar, like she wants to be in the spotlight. But I think at the same time, she is shy, and she doesn't have the greatest people skills because she grew up in the forest. So some people find her intimidating. Um, some challenges I had with the design were kind of figuring out how to make her still look feminine but also hairy. So, obviously, I gave her a beard here. I think that her beard is kind of a good compromise because it doesn't cover up her face too much. Almost looks like pigtails or something. It's hard to find a good reference for women with facial hair. I tried typing in hairy women in Pinterest and it told me that was not a appropriate search term. So instead, I looked at some character art that other people had done of dwarven females because a lot of times dwarven women are depicted with beards as well. So I kind of looked at like what they did to make the faces still look feminine, and I noticed a lot of them gave them like really pouty lips and really exaggerated eyelashes. So it, even though they have facial hair, they still look decidedly feminine. So that's what I tried to copy here with Mori, with nice big lips and her facial hair that it kind of frames her face instead of like blocks her face with a mustache or anything. So I think that worked out as a good compromise. I also had a couple of issues with depicting her as a Bigfoot because, like a regular Bigfoot depiction is really, really, really hairy. Like you can't see any kind of distinct body or anything. So what I kind of took in inspiration from was like kind of cartoon drawings of Bigfoot where for some reason he'll be all covered in hair but his chest will be exposed. And I took that and kind of interpreted that into how Mori would grow her hair. So she is a lot more hairy on her arms and legs. And I think that's probably pretty accurate to like people too. I mean, women grow hair on their forearms and legs, and then they don't have a lot of hair on their like torso. So I don't know. I kind of thought that would work, and I thought it gave her an interesting silhouette. So I looked at a lot of pictures of like leg warmer outfits and also like arm warmers, but those are less common. But still, I liked it, those for reference too, to kind of get an idea of like what the shape would look like. I also think that it lends itself really well to like the Stevie Nicks style I was talking about because it has like these big sleeves almost built in and almost like bell bottoms built in. So it has like kind of a 70s vibe. For her beard, I did try to keep it out of her face. So it's kind of almost like a chin strap around her face, and then she has like kind of like pigtail poofs on either side of her chin, like coming off her jaw. I think that it worked out pretty well. I think it would be fun to maybe have done like a braided style or something. I'm not sure. But it's probably too short to be braided at this point. It would probably have to be longer if I wanted it to be braided. So here I'm sketching out a couple more poses for Mori just because I wanted to fill up the page a little bit. I actually did like a full spread in my sketchbook that I was going to post to Mori. But when I looked back at my footage, it was so blurry. Like my phone kept focusing on my hand instead of the paper, which I don't know how it happened like that, and I don't know how to fix it. So I just made new art instead. But I hope I can figure it out before I try again making art in my sketchbook because I do really like doing traditional art as well. And I think it's really fun to watch people make traditional art. So I would love to be able to figure that out. So yeah, these other poses are just kind of like a pose of her singing, because like I said, she is a singer. And then another pose of her just kind of looking like kind of side eye, like, I don't know, thinking face. And I don't know, maybe this is part of why she doesn't have the best people skills, is because she looks intimidating. You know, in my estimation, she's really tall. And she has a beard, so she probably looks, you know, a little unusual for the average public. So maybe she doesn't have the best people skills as a result. Yeah. But I think that overall, I really wanted to focus on developing a good silhouette for her and playing with these colors that make her look part of nature, because I really think that at her core, she's like kind of a hippie. But I really like Mori. I'm kind of trying to think of how she would connect to Olympia, like, because I don't think that she's quick to trust. So maybe Olympia helped her out at some point, and Olympia is kind of like the only person that she trusts, because Olympia was very like protective and brave, and I feel like Mori is pretty shy and not brave. Like, she's brave because she's not afraid to get up in front of people and sing, but like in like actual talking to people, she gets really nervous. So anyway, I had a lot of fun drawing her. I tried to give her like a really feminine face to kind of combat the beard and extreme body hair. So I really like drawing her really large lips. They're really full and pouty, and I also gave her these eyes that are kind of like, usually I give like really big cute eyes to characters, but I'm trying to do kind of like a more sultry look for this, where she's got more like long eyelashes and um just really flirty looking. This eye here is really wonky, but I go back later and fix it so it's not so far tilted. That happens sometimes when you're drawing, where you just get like kind of like a blind spot and you're like la la la, and then you look back and you're like, whoa, what was I thinking? So yeah, I also really love these huge bangs that I put on her. They kind of remind me of Aerith from Final Fantasy VII. They have kind of like a 90s vibe, but also a 70s vibe. So I don't know. The bangs were probably my favorite part to draw on her, just because they're like really silly looking and exaggerated. I found drawing her poses interesting. I would have liked to draw more poses, but like I said, that I had already drawn several in my sketchbook. So I'm still, you know, working out my concept for my monster girls. I really don't know exactly what world they belong to, but I just like drawing them a lot. I think it's really fun to draw monsters as pretty girls. You know, it takes some inspiration from like Monster High. So like when I'm drawing Sycamore or Mori here, I looked at some pictures of Abby Abominable to see how they stylize her, because, you know, a Yeti is pretty close to a Sasquatch physiologically. And I don't know in mine said I called a Bigfoot a monster, because I know that some people call them cryptids. I'm not really sure if there's like a distinction between cryptids and monsters. I think cryptids is maybe that they're potentially real, so some people think that they are real still. So they have like cryptozoologists and people who are really interested in Bigfoot sightings and things like that. And, you know, monsters is pretty much it, exclusively mythical. I'm not sure about that. Maybe it's the same or maybe it's different. um, so I have a list of several more monsters that I want to explore, and there's more cryptids on that list too, so I hope that's okay. On this pose, I really liked how expressive her face turned out. I gave her closed eyes, but she looks like she's really passionate about what she's singing. I did have a lot of trouble with her mouth here. I redrew it so many times. Even at the end of this video, after I had finished, I went back and liquefied it again. So it might look a little bit different in the final photos when you see it. I just had a really hard time with the angle of it here because she's not quite 3/4 you. I don't know. I had fun drawing the microphone. I don't really know that. I've probably drawn a microphone before, but it's fun to kind of draw like a little accessory or something to add to her character as well. Let me know what kind of music you think that Mori likes to sing. I mean, I have a feeling that she likes to sing like old classic songs, but maybe that's just because, like her name is from a Dream a Little Dream of Me song, or maybe she sings Stevie Nicks songs. So I like to imagine that she's a really powerful singer, and it's makes sense because she's like a bigger lady, so she has like a lot of like air in her lungs, so she can really belt. But at the same time, when she has her speaking voice, it's very soft, and she's very reserved. So it's kind of a surprise, but it's also kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense at the same time. I had a lot of fun coloring the character. Green is my favorite color, so I always love to pick green colors for things. I try to give her a couple of different variations of outfits. All of them have kind of the same like vintagey hippie vibe. So in this one that I'm doing now, she has kind of like a crop top bra type thing, and then she has jeans on, which you can't really see them because she goes behind the other characters, but I imagine they're bell bottoms. So she's just really got that 70s look going. And then the first look that I did, she's got like a corset top with like a skirt with a big slit up to her thighs, and then you can see like a garter, which really has no purpose because she doesn't have socks or anything to hold up. It's just there for fashion. And then this other one, she has like a crop top on, and then it has like a big slit on both of the sleeves so her arms are exposed. I think that all three of the looks really fit her style. I think it would be fun to draw some more outfits for her. I tried to play with like little elements of nature motifs in her design. So you can see her belt buckle is a flower, and the little button on her shoulder, it turns into a leaf a little bit later. Yeah, so I think that her clothes turned out really nice, and I really like the way that when I start going in with shading here, um I shaded her muscles really strongly, I feel like. So it really makes the form stand out. So I feel like she really looks like strong. Um I had a lot of fun doing the shading. That's one of my favorite parts of rendering right now, is because I feel like it makes everything look so much more dimensional. But I'm still learning about digital art. It's definitely a process. um, and then I add some cute highlights to her hair. I really like how all these sketches turned out. I think that she's a really fun character, and she has a lot of personality already, and I haven't even like spent that much time working on her yet. So I think that if I ever do something with this monster girl story, she might be one of my favorites, just because I really relate to being shy and preferring, not to deal with people. That's relatable to me. So anyway, we're coming up towards the end now. So I'm just doing some more finishing touches, like adding some cute blushies, which is, really good for making your characters come alive. Oh, and this button is the one I was saying is gonna turn into a leaf. I also try to do some shading on the face to give it like more planes of the face. And then this one with her eyes closed, I did some highlights on her eyelids that I think turned out really cute. I also had kind of a hard time with all of the brown because, she has really long hair and she has hair on her arms and she has hair on her legs, and there's three pictures of her right next to each other. So I kept going in and adding darker gradients on top, or I guess the pieces that are behind the front, right? So, like this arm that she's holding the microphone, I added a couple layers of darker gradients. And then on her hair, in this background character, I added a couple layers of darker gradients too, just so everything can stand out because it's just so much brown. Her hair is super long and she has a beard too, so it all just kind of goes together. But yeah, I think that I like all of the little drawings I did here, but I think my favorite is probably the first one where you can see her just standing. So you can see that she has the long hair on her arms and legs. I think that's a really interesting and distinct feature of her. I don't think that a lot of characters have that, so I think it's fun. And I think I would like to draw her some more, maybe in some new poses and new outfits. I think she could be really fun to draw outfits for because she has kind of a fun style. And drawing her beard is an interesting challenge too. So, here we're just coming up on the end. So this is the final illustration of Mori, and a quick little speed paint to recap everything. I hope that you enjoyed watching today, and I hope that you'll stop by again soon and see what other monster girls they come up with. If you're interested, you can also check out Olympia. She's a Gorgon, and she turned out really cute too. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.